Guzman Jr. in the Bronx attacked one of my correctional officers in MDC, punching him in the face and dislocating his back and his shoulder. Then we roll over to this morning and I have a mentally ill inmate who literally, if you see the video, tried to kill a female New York City correction officer by wrapping his t-shirt around her neck and choking her down to the ground. Thank God that the officers were able to kick this door open with the assistance, believe it or not, of 3 inmates who kicked the door open and went to the assistance of this correction officer. The ironic thing is, up in Albany today, they're voting on a halt bill because they want these particular type of inmates to be locked out, not to be put in punitive segregation, not to be segregated from other inmates regardless of how violent they are. It is ironic that they're sitting in Albany thinking about passing a bill that's going to do nothing but further endanger the life of inmates, correction officers, and civilians. I'm really calling on the city of New York and the state of New York and all of the legislators, the senators, the assembly, the city council, the mayor, the governor. They need to reconsider what they're doing inside these jails. The reality is that you guys have no idea. This officer should not be alive. It was really bad. And this inmate already did time in jail for rape. And he's in jail again for forcible touching and all these cute words that we've come up with in the 21st century. We used to call things rape. We used to call things attempted rape. Now we call it forcible touching. Now we give these things names to try to marginalize what they actually are. I'm asking the mayor, because there are things that can be done right now today. Right now, with the low inmate population, we no longer have to do 1 correction officer for every 50 inmates. Since we have less than 7,000 inmates and we got 11,000 correction officers, let's change the ratio. Let's change the ratio. It shouldn't be 1 to 50. Make it 1 to 20. Everybody knows that if you want a safer place, that the least amount of people you have, the safer it is. I've been talking to the city and to everybody in politics saying we need to open a jail. We need to open a mental health facility in this city for inmates. Give the officers the needed training that they need. Let's open up a mental health facility right here on Rikers Island. We have the ability to do it. We don't have the inmate population that we have. And there is no reason why we can't do this. We can't keep talking about, oh, you know, we want safer jails. No, you don't. No, you don't. The reality is that you got what you wanted. The inmate population is down for whatever the reason is. So if the inmate population is down and you want to actually rehabilitate inmates, then you have the ability to do that now. If you actually want to address recidivism, you actually could do that now. If you actually want to address rehabilitation, you actually have enough correction officers and enough staff to open up and do work release programs. You have enough officers. New York City correction officers are the most educated correction officer in this country. Ever since 1999, we were required to have a minimum of an associate's degree. The majority of my members have bachelor's degrees. The majority of my members, they have other letters behind their name. And we're saying that if you really genuinely want to reduce the number of people in jail, if you really want to send these people back to the neighborhoods better than they came, then you got to do more than give us lip service. You have to, right now, change this ratio of officer to inmate. We have to do that. We have to open up mental health facilities as they've done in other states. They tell us that 40% of our inmates suffer from mental illness, that we're running the largest mental health facility in the East Coast, and it's true. But we don't have 1 mental health facility. We don't have 1 mental health jail. You go to places like San Francisco, they literally have mental health facilities. California, they have it. Why are we not doing it here? What are we waiting for? For somebody to get killed? For somebody to get killed? Here is the Junior Gonzalez Munez, the inmate, the one named Munez, who was just found guilty. The man is in MDC in the Tombs. He attacked the correction officer. Guess what he said? I have nothing to lose. Why in the hell should he be with us? He should be in one of these Bellevue-like facilities. He should be medicated or whatever it's going to take to keep the violence from other inmates. We can't keep doing this. We can't keep saying that people shouldn't die in jail, but they're in jail because they were violent. They're in jail because they attacked somebody. And I know I shouldn't even say this, but even the transgender inmate, she was in punitive seg because she attacked another inmate. She was in jail because she attacked the immigrant cab worker. What are we doing? What are we doing here, people? We can't keep marginalizing things and trying to do this millennial 21st century, whatever it is that we think we're doing. There is crime and there is punishment. There is crime and there's punishment. They're being punished by being put in jail. You send them to jail, you're punishing them. So, 3 things. If you guys don't do anything else, we need mental health facilities right now in this city. And we have the correction officers and we have the other staff that can do this thing. We need to change this inmate to officer to inmate ratio. There's no reason now to have 1 officer for every 50 inmates. And we have to stop acting like there's no such thing as crime and punishment when people break the law. We can't continue to do this, regardless of whether the inmate population go down or go up. We can't continue to act as if nothing should happen to people when they commit crimes. Look, I'm a correction officer. We're correction officers. We are not the judge and the jury. We're not. We're just responsible for holding these people until the judge and the jury do whatever it is they're going to do. But while we have them in our custody, we want to be safe. Other inmates want to be safe. You had to see the video of these 3 inmates that assisted this female officer this morning. I mean, I don't know what they're in for, but I wanted to just walk them out. So at the end of the day, we need to do something, and we need to do it fast. Thank you.
Sir, can you describe again what Jose Muniz is accused of doing to a correction officer?
He's accused of punching a correction officer in his face and attacking him and kicking him and dislocating his shoulder and fracturing his back. I don't think I can get any more graphic. That's what he did.
And this is the same Muniz?
This is the same Muniz, yes. Ever since them guys have been in jails, they never stopped committing crime. They still continue to live as if they were in the street and acting as they were in the street and as if there is no justice, there is no law, there is no order.
Where is he being held now?
Probably on Rikers. Since last night, he was being held in MDC in the Tombs, and now he should be on Rikers Island. He should be in the Bing if he's not still at Central Booking being rearrested.
Is there any type of feeling that he's trying to act a certain way now after his conviction?
To be very honest with you, I am not a goddamn psychologist. I don't know what his intentions or his motives are. What I know is we have to treat what we see. And what we have and what we see are violent people. We can't continue to feed the crisis and try to figure out, like I said earlier, and marginalize, oh, he's just acting out. This is a grown-ass man. And he knows what he is doing and he knows what he did.
In the Tombs where this incident happened, is that a segregated area? Was he held in a special area, or was it a general population area over at the Tombs?
He was held, I don't know whether it was a special area, but he was held there with other inmates.
Was the attack while he was being transported, or was there any...
The officer was attacked as he was trying to provide services.
But just unprovoked, that you just went up to him?
Yes, unprovoked.
Exactly the timing.
I'm sorry, say that?
Timing.
On which one? The one this morning or the one last night? The one last night, I was at the hospital with the officer. It happened, I think around about 6 o'clock. 5, 6 o'clock, maybe earlier. And the female officer, I don't want to marginalize what happened to her. This guy is a rapist. He's in jail for rape. And quite frankly, that officer was alone with him with no assistant. And if he was able to choke her and she became unconscious, she was going to be another one of his victims. And the reality is, those people that sitting in Albany, the Corey Johnsons of the world, and the rest of these people need to wake up and pay attention. The Board of Corrections and these people who are making these rules, who seem to think that we're running some type of daycare center. We're not running a daycare center. That's not what we're doing. Listen, we're not saying that all the inmates in our custody are bad. That's not what we're saying. Some of them are in there for horrible crimes and they haven't done any other crimes since they've been in jail. That's not what we're saying. We're saying that we need to address the ones who are, the ones who continue to do it. It's the same inmates. I'm going to see you guys at another press conference somewhere in the future saying the same shit. And it makes no sense because the people who are responsible for these idiotic policies are sitting somewhere saying, well, it can't be that bad. Well, let me choke your daughter out. Let me choke your daughter out. Let me break your son's back. Let me fracture your daughter's face. Let me rape your child and see exactly how you feel about this. I'm sorry. This has to stop, and it has to stop now. And there's no reason why we have to wait to address these issues. We have the ability to address it. We have everything that's needed. We have more than enough facilities. We have like 7,000 inmates. Come on, guys, we can hold up to 20,000 inmates. So why do we still have 50 gang members in a housing area? Why? I mean, who's sleeping at the switch? Because it's not the correction officer. Why do we still have 50 Bloods, 50 Crips, 50 MS-13, whatever the hell their gang tag is? Why do we still have them? And it's just important that you understand. Don't marginalize what we do.
How is the female officer doing?
This happened in AMKC. She went into the pantry. Unfortunately, the inmate, when she went into the pantry, took his shirt, undershirt, went behind her, grabbed her, choked her, was really choking her, threw her on the ground. She hit her face on the door, and like I said, thank God for the officers that was there, and thank God for the inmates that was there, because they kicked that door that should not have been able to be kicked it open, and came to her aid. And she's okay. She's as well as could be. Thank God, because it could have been worse. But I don't want to keep standing here talking about what's going to happen. I'm sorry, sir.
And that was what, last night or today?
The officer that was attacked was this morning. The female officer who got choked at the end, and they charged him with attempted murder. You know, I have to give the Bronx District Attorney, you know, she charged him. He's there. He's been charged with attempted murder. And he's a parole violator. He's the one that everybody said, let's let him out, the parole violator. Now I have to see what District Attorney Cyrus Vance is going to do now that he has the Nunez, the Guzman Jr. kid. Now that's no longer the Bronx. This crime was committed in MDC. So now we're going to see exactly what District Attorney Cyrus Vance is going to do. And to be honest with you, they usually do the right thing, and I hope they do the right thing here.
Any other questions? All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I came in at a second traffic. I have your name and everything.
Elias and Sabubini,
Spell it for me.
H-U-E-L-I-A.